Hello everyone and welcome to episode 2 of Average Joe. We have another upgrade today after obviously getting the cockpit set up, the GT track from Next Level Racing in episode 1. We've added our first big hardware upgrade. Today I spent a couple of hours setting up the Fanatec ClubSport V3 pedals with a brake performance kit with a damper on the throttle. It was a little bit fiddly a couple of times. I was watching a couple of videos, you know, Sim Racing Garage, Barry over there getting me through my troubles. But we got everything settled up. We started to get everything dialed in on the rig. Probably still need a few changes here and there. But I have to say, very first impressions. I've done 10 laps before we go into today's races. Very first impressions are nothing but positive. The smoothness and the build quality, and just even down to the feel on your feet. Of course, vibration motors, rumble motors on both the brake and the accelerator. What an absolute difference it is. However, it is a big change, and I think we're going to see today that change is not something that you can do overnight, that you have to put in a lot of practice, that you have to get back to kind of where you were before you can even start improving. So without further ado, let's jump in to what was our first race. Sadly, it didn't quite, as in episode 1, go as planned. So we ended up in the race that never was, in 10th position. I got 8 incident points, all from spin-offs actually. There was no contact with any other cars, so really kind of struggling with braking zones and what have you. All 2 of them on this track. But I kept going. You know, I had to tow at one point because I hit a wall. But I kept going, finished 10th, 8 incident points, but still managed a safety rating gain. So definitely, first little tip for today, keep going. Even if it looks like you're probably going to lose, safety rating is calculated on the amount of corners that you take. So even if you have, in this case, 8 incident points, if you do another 4-5 laps or whatever cleanly after that, you bump up the amount of corners that you've done, so your amount of incidents per corner goes down, and therefore you've got more of a chance of either losing less safety rating or gaining more, of course, safety rating. So make sure you keep going however bad it looks. So since this was a non-starter, let's get into a second race and see if we can find some good racing. So here we are then, our second race of the day.
P2. The air temp is 26 Celsius.
This one's going to stay here whatever the outcome. So let's hope for a good one, boys.
Go.
Starting P2 here. It's mostly a field of rookies. I've got off to a good start and I'm on the inside, so just take it really steady around here. Totally fine if...
Car on your right. Hold your line. Clear on the right.
Let him go from that one. Whoa, I was in second. I didn't change up to 4th for whatever reason. I was concentrating too much on my mirror. But that's fine. The aim here is to get used to the pedals. Specifically the brake.
Okay, Joe, decent start. We can build something from here.
Of the map.
Car right.
Track that we...
Right is clear now.
That we have to actually brake in. Oh god, I nearly lost it there again.
Car on your right.
It's okay. Settle down.
Still there. Hold your line.
Okay, he's coming right over.
Stay there. Clear on the right.
Good job, I...
On your right. Right side is clear now.
Wide. It's okay. We survived it.
Incident in Lodge. It looks like it's
as much room as I possibly could there.
There's an incident in
Sadly,
the Elite.
got the
It looks like
for it,
Wicketer.
We're second with a fair amount of open track in front and behind. So, you know, had worse starts, as we saw in our last video. And I'm just trying to be really careful on these 2 corners that I have to brake on, because I'm definitely not used to the amount of power that I have to put down into the Fanatec
10 minutes remaining.
ClubSport
10 minutes.
that I now have at my feet. It's an incredible difference, and being able to kind of feel that I can put down 25% power by putting down 25% power. You can feel where you actually are on scale, whereas obviously with my old pedals it's done on position, so you were kind of left guessing, and I shouldn't have been talking there.
The leader has just done a 112.6.
And it was a loss of control as well, of course, a spin, so but we're not going to be negative, because as we saw last race,
P3, that lap time was 121.1.
Still be a gain in safety rating. Clearly these late night races are not for me. Whoa.
There's an incident in Foster's. We think it might be
Really
Cabral.
use the brake. On one side it's a good place to practice, because I only have 2 corners that I need to brake on. On the other side, of course, there's less corners that I'm.
We think P2 has gone off in through it. Yellow flag,
Don't know what
watch
he's
out.
done there. Well, that's a freebie for us. Back up to second.
That's a new fastest lap for Pedersen, 112.5.
Okay. The rule is no talking when I need to brake. Try and keep concentration here a little bit.
P2.
One thing I was worried about with the pedals is a possible flex in the pedal plate here on the next level racing GT track that I have. But I have to say, I'm not using the it comes with 2 extra bolts, which basically give kind of extra stiffness if you put them in. I've not actually put them in yet, and I'm noticing 0 flex whatsoever. This guy's gonna cause me some issues. Or not. Messed himself up a little bit. That's good for me. But yeah, no flex whatsoever in the GT track. Yeah.
Looks like P4 has gone off in
Can't
through
say
it.
that I'm not impressed, to be honest. I figured I'd have to put those bolts in, but so far not seen the need to.
On your right. Still there.
Okay, we've got old mate here on our right, so
Still there.
gotta
Right
be
side is clear.
really careful
The guy
to
behind
keep
has
back
just
off.
done a
But I've already let go of the
112.6.
throttle, so lost most of momentum anyway. Kind of just want to let him go, to be honest. Okay, he clipped the corner a little bit there, so he didn't do too well. But yeah, with the brake performance kit, I actually put in 1 red and 1 green token, which is you know, what most people kind of recommend if you look around on videos, and gives kind of
Incident
a
in Foster's.
medium
It looks like it's Cabral.
stiffness.
You're halfway home. Your
Yeah,
fuel is fine.
Obviously, way stiffer than I'm used to. The amount of force that you need to put in there with the load cell and the extra tokens in is a workout so far for the leg. I'm gonna have 1 massive leg. How many laps? 6.5 minutes gone. Okay, so we're halfway done. That's pretty nice. Pedersen in front of us is 16 seconds away, so unless he royally messes up, we're probably not going to see him for the rest of the race.
The gap to Costa behind is
Totally
increasing.
fine.
It's now 0.8.
I also got the damper kit, which is designed, I think, for
That's
the
5
brake.
minutes to go. Come on, keep it together.
But
We'll
if
be
you
on the
look at
podium here.
the sim racing garage reviews, which, by the way, if you're looking at looking for reviews on wheels and pedals and rigs and what have you, Barry over there is an absolute genius, and also has like a silky smooth voice, so it's kind of like ASMR bedtime sim racing content for sure. But he recommended actually putting it onto the throttle, so you get the kind of hydraulic damper on the throttle, which if you look at my telemetry and you go back and I don't know why I'm breaking that. If you go back and look at my telemetry from from the last video, you'll probably notice that when I accelerate, it's a much smoother curve.
P2.
And that's because the damper kind of has that, obviously, hydraulic mechanism, I suppose. I'm definitely not very engineeringly talented. And obviously stops you just kind of ramming from 0 to 100. It gives you a smoother curve, which I've actually turned it quite a way down, because I had it round about you can set it with a little dial from 0 to 9, and I actually dialed it down a little bit because I had the feeling that I was actually getting a bit of, you know, what was FPS gamers might call kind of input lag, right? Which from me actually trying to get to where I wanted to
That's
be,
the fastest lap.
felt like
Your
it
lap time
took a
was
little
at
bit too long, so I dialed
112.6.
it back a little bit, and it feels really nice now. But it's a practice thing, right? And as I said, today I did 10 clean laps before we did race 1. We only saw the after race scoreboard from race 1 because it was really not worth watching. And race 2 here not been super clean, but we seem to have found a little bit of a groove, touch wood. So yeah, I suppose day 1 impressions of the Fanatec ClubSport V3 pedals is hugely positive. Obviously I need to do a few laps maybe in a GT3 car or whatever you, just to really feel the difference. A little bit late onto the brakes.
There's an incident in Foster's. We think it might be
in the right
Cabral.
place, but I'm actually starting to
That's 2
feel
minutes
a little
left.
bit
2
confident
minutes.
with him now.
That lap was a 112.8. Sector 2 is 0.4 off the pace.
That's my fastest lap, 112.6. I think in the last video from the second race we managed a 112.1. In today's first race qualifying I actually managed a 112.2, so timing wise,
All right, Joe,
considering
you've got half your fuel
very
left.
little amount of practice and kind of dialing in that I've done on the rig, timing wise I'm a little bit slower, but you know, that's 1.5 years worth of practice versus 10-20 laps in total. So I think it's pretty obvious that once I kind of get used to these pedals, that time's going to start going down. Oh shit. And I've shifted one too many. Okay. So it's 8 incident points and a 3rd place. I promised that I wouldn't talk too much in
Incident
corners.
in Foster's. It looks like Sarah. 1 more to go. Keep it together. We'll be on the podium. P3. Okay, Joe.
Looks
10 minutes
okay.
of fuel remaining.
As long as we get positive safety
Looks
rating
like
again,
P5's gone off in
we'll be
Druids.
happy. There is an art to actually talking whilst driving as well, which probably something on top of the new gear that we keep that we're going to keep bringing in.
That's 2 minutes left. 2 minutes.
Going to take practice as well. A pretty uneventful race, to be honest. My own fault there at the end. But it's another podium in the bag.
There's an incident in Old Hall. We think it might be Pedersen.
Which is not at all bad.
Incident in
Denton's.
Denton's. It looks like
our lesson
Pedersen.
from yesterday. We've got space behind us in the track.
Nice one, Joe. Great drive. That's a podium.
A P3 and 8 incident points. Let's see if we've actually lost or maybe gained. Fingers crossed. It happened to us in the last race. Maybe we've got some safety rating from it anyway. Let's take a look. So here we go then. Third place, again 8 incident points, and again a positive safety rating change. So, you know, 2 races and almost a plus 0.1. It's not too bad. It's really not too bad. Obviously, I mean, if we look there at Ale Costa, or Ale Costa if he was from England, he's from Brazil, so he's obviously probably not called Ale. 4 incident points, and he got a 0.1 safety rating gain. So, you know, all in all, we can be pretty happy with third place and the little boost in safety rating. And of course, piling on that on from race number 1, decent little amount of safety rating considering the fact that we're on brand new pedals today. So that's it then for episode 2 of Average Joe. We managed over 2 races, a safety gain all in all on brand new pedals, which is obviously only going to get better from here as we start to get used to it, as we start to actually feel where our brake can be pushed and, you know, get used to the acceleration curve and what have you. However, the trusty Thrustmaster T150 is going to be retired for episode 3. We're going to make the move up to a direct drive wheelbase, and I've been waiting for this moment for a fairly long time, probably about 2 months now. I have a VRS Direct Force Pro sat on my office floor here, ready to be opened and set up. So for episode 3, we're going to have the new pedals. We're going to be sitting here in the GT Track cockpit, and we're going to have the VRS Direct Force Pro wheelbase and a shiny new wheel rim as well, which I got from a guy, which I'll talk about in the next episode. Brilliant looking thing. Can't wait to share it with you. So please, as always, if you enjoyed the video, do think about liking it and dropping me a subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll see you next time around, where we upgrade our wheelbase and hopefully don't crash as much as today.